Kings and queens of the world, it's Leon X, the human liberator, Mr. Born Royalty himself. Slaves were brought to America. They were stripped of everything that they knew, everything that they had. Families were torn apart. And so, if this was 100 years ago, I get to America, I'm auctioned off. As soon as I'm auctioned, I get a new name. My last name turns to the slave master's last name. Okay? My family is the slave master's family. And so, whatever last name that most black people have or that any black person has, black Americans, so-called Negroes, so-called American Negroes, so-called African American, the so-called black man in America, all of our last names are not our names. We've been miseducated by a system that was created by white supremacy. All they care about is world domination, suppression, and population control. We were born into slavery. We were slaves for years. Lives were lost. We were lynched. We were hung. Women were stabbed in the stomach while they had their baby. They were pregnant, 6 months, 9 months, 3 months pregnant. Yeah. You know, we were spoon-fed information that makes us think and operate as the way the white man, so-called white man, wants us to. All the information that we know was taught by them. They were our open enemies since the history of the world. It's not till 50 years ago where they realized that we were people, that we were human beings. I'm sure that my ancestors knew it all along. They knew that they had the right to go into any public place. So like Kwame Ture said, the civil rights bills was for the white man, not the black man. The civil rights bills was for the white man. I knew that I could go into any public place. You don't gotta tell me that. They had to tell the white man that, hey, he's a human being, he could go into any public place. I know I could vote, that's my right. But the white man, they didn't know that. They didn't know we could vote. Every time we tried to go to vote, they would harass us, they would kill us, they would lynch us, they would spit on us, sick dogs on us. You know, blow up our churches and our houses. That was 50 years ago, y'all. That was literally 50 years ago, you know? And so, whatever my last name was before I got the information is irrelevant. Because somewhere along the line, my family was their niggas, their niggers, their property. And I am nobody's property but my own. I am God's property. I am God in man form. We were kings and queens before we were slaves. We were kings and queens before we were niggers and bitches or niggers and wenches. We were kings and queens before we were pimps and hoes. We are the original man, the black woman. That is us. That's the information that they know, that they do whatever they can to keep away from us. Because once they know that once we get that information and we realize that our struggle in America, the American black man's struggle, is directly related to the struggle of all black people globally, then we'll realize how many allies that we have, how many people that are waiting for the American, so-called American Negro, so-called American black man to step up to the plate. Well, I'm here to answer that call. I'm here to do whatever it takes to organize the masses and transfer information. I get paid to transfer information. If you want to get paid to transfer information, holla at me, get the information, make your investment, and then transfer the information. It's very simple. But that's not about this. That's not what this video is about. This video is about black power versus white supremacy. Black power is not anti-white. Black power is not anti-white. Black visibility is not black power. Just because Barack Obama's in the White House doesn't mean that we have power. We don't have power. Barack Obama was selected by a elite class of Peckerwoods to numb our people, to numb us, to give us the illusion that we're free and times have changed. But they just switched the slavery, they switched it from right in our face, open enemies, they just switched it to economics and politics. And those are two things black people don't really know nothing about, is economics and politics. And quantum physics. Because once you understand quantum physics, metaphysics, you understand the universal laws that we operate on, and you'll be able to create from nothing. But we don't consciously realize that we have the ability to create from nothing, because we were told that we're nothing. We were told that we're born into sin and there's nothing good in us, and so God has some conditional love. They taught us that we have a sky daddy somewhere in the sky, and if we don't do what Master says, then he's gonna punish us and we're gonna burn forever. I'm good off that. I would say that we're living in hell right now. And we don't even know it. We think we're free, but we're still enslaved in the mind. And so Leon X just comes from, throw my X's up, Leon X comes from knowing who I am, what I am. Knowing that the last name I had was not my last name. Knowing that that was my slave master's last name. And I'm my own man. I'm Leon X, the human liberator. I'm gonna mess around and get a name change officially. You feel me? Because I'm Django Unchained out here, man. I'm organizing the masses. I'm taking action. I done studied these Peckerwoods for years. The last 3-4 years, I done studied these Peckerwoods, the richest Peckerwoods in the world, how they're doing it. And we've created our own systems to teach people how to do what they've been doing to get them massively rich. 1% of the world controls 99% of all the money. 1% of the world makes 99% of the money. That means that's because we don't have the information. We've been miseducated. I mean, we're all products of white supremacy. So when you realize you're a product of white supremacy, you want to do something to change it. You want to be a part of the elite class of, black people that's getting ready to revolutionize the world. If you want freedom from westernized imperialism and capitalism, if you want redistribution of economics, if you want genuine material improvement, you must re-educate yourself. You must get the proper information. You must know who you are, how powerful you are, whose you are, and your mission as a black person in America. We all have the same mission. It's to liberate our people. It's to get organized and get this mass movement going. That's it. All we gotta do is get a mass movement going, and then generations and generations of lives are changed forever. So I'm willing to die for this cause. I don't really care. I know what I believe in. This is what I believe in. I'm willing to die for it. I done put in so much work. Like I said, I'm gonna make $1 million before this year is over. I'll make $1 billion, be a billionaire, multi-billionaire, you feel me, by 2023. It's all good. Ain't nobody stopping what I got going on, man. This is divine intelligence. This was prophesized before I was even born. You feel me? It's Leon X, the human liberator. Mr. Born Royalty himself telling you need to protect yourself from the fall of the dollar. You need to know knowledge of self, knowledge of the times, knowledge of what must be done. You need to know that Born Royalty's information, or Born Royalty LLC, will improve the quality of your life. Our business model will make you a self-made millionaire, and all the skills are learnable. If you want to be a self-made millionaire, I can show you how. Whatever amount of money that you want to make, period, I can show you how. And if I can do it, you can do it. If our network that's building in 17 states right now, which is soon to be global, if all of us can do it, you can do it. If the 70 million people that are involved in our industry in 55 countries can do it, you can do it. But my aim is to liberate black people, That's all I really care about. Anybody else want to get with the movement, that's cool. Black and Latino people. Y'all holla at me, man. It's Leon X. That's it. Leon X. Address me as Leon X. Address me as the human liberator. Address me as Mr. Born Royalty. Address me as Snap on Beast. Or address me as Mr. X. If you don't address me by those things, if you don't address me by King Leon, if you don't address me by those titles, then I don't get no response. You don't get no response. That means you don't know me. That means you don't know me like you think you know me if you don't address me as King Leon, if you don't address me as a human liberator, Mr. Born Royalty himself. Shout out to Prosperous J.O., Born Hustler, Mr. Prosperity himself. We out here giving the nation the prosperity message. You need the prosperity message. The prosperity message dramatically changes lives. So take control of your mind, realize who you are, realize your ancestors were slaves, so everything that you think you know, you were taught by white supremacy. And if I was a slave master, I wouldn't give my slaves the information. I would give them information that they think is what's right, but it will be wrong, because we don't want them to know the truth. Because if they do, then we can't use them anymore. But you're being used right now by white supremacy, especially if you work a job. They're paying you to do a task that you make, where you're gonna make 10% of the money you make them. So I guess that's cool if you don't want to be an entrepreneur and control your own pay and write your own ticket in life. If you want someone to tell you how much you're worth and then pay you 90% less than what you pay them, that's cool. Trade time for money, do that your whole life. I'm not doing that. My team's not doing that. That's for the birds. But if you're a bird, hey, fly away. I guess fly away or do whatever you gotta do. Make your little nest and your little eggs and shit. And wait till the winter to go south. Man, the only limitation you have is the one you set up in your own mind or allow others to set up for you. It's Leon X. I'm screaming black power. Or black power, black power. Black power is not anti-white. Black visibility is not black power. It's Leon X telling y'all, keep listening to Mr. Charlie if you want to. He holding a job over your head. Mr. Charlie don't give a fuck about you or your family. Mr. Charlie needs you to be at work so he could make 90% of the money you make him. Okay? He's gonna pay you 10%, you make 90%. That's what Mr. Charlie wants. And if you're not gonna do that, he's gonna fire you and replace you. And that's the life that our parents lived. They love the Lord, but Mr. Charlie's their owner. Mr. Charlie's their boss. You know? Instead of them being their own boss. I can't have that for my life. Not me. Not me. Not me. It's Leon X, the Human Liberator. What's up?